Hello. Welcome. Welcome here. Isn't it great?
Happy Friday. I just posted the worst Instagram story ever. So feel free to go look at that over at Handmade Alphas. It's terrible. It's awful. It's hideous. Not the one of him. I posted one of him today too in his uniform.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Not that one.
Hideous.
Not that one. It's us getting ready for the Friday bean. That's all I have to say about that. Happy Friday, guys. If you're new here, welcome to the Friday Bean. If you're not interested in listening to a big, long live session, or if you're watching the replay and you're saying to yourself, I want all this information, but I don't want to hear these people talk about it. I actually left a link down below in the video description from Pam Duthie. She created a pretty great video last year about reading your Etsy stats for the holidays. I just figured that I would toss that in there. Even if you guys hang out here, you should still go check that video out as well. Sometimes it's good to hear multiple perspectives of things. Pam is able to give some visual examples, which obviously we can't really do that during the live stream, and her video was edited and super pretty. So feel free to go watch that. There are a couple other additional things that I want to talk about today dealing in Google Analytics. For those of you who already have Google Analytics set up, this is going to be really important for you. For those of you who do not have Google Analytics set up, this is also important for you. So we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. But I just want to remind everybody that we will answer questions towards the end, because I really want to make sure that we get this topic like nailed out, because I think that this information is extremely important. As we near the holiday season, hopefully you guys are starting to see the uptick in traffic. I know a couple of you mentioned that it's been quiet. Here's what we've observed so far. Last year, holiday shopping started around August. It started climbing in September. It hit a pretty high point in October, but then by November it skyrocketed. This year, we're noticing a different pattern with our shoppers. And I don't think that it's because they're gonna, stop shopping. A lot of people have asked me, with the recession, are people even gonna shop?
Yes.
Well, of course they are. It's the holiday season. If ever there was a time for people to buy, it is during the holidays. But I think that they're waiting to buy. And I know that from my own example, because I've got an Amazon cart full of products right now, and I'm waiting on Black Friday to check out because I want to see if any of it's going to go on sale. So if you're nervous right now about the holidays, don't be, especially if you normally make decent sales, as long as you're keeping up with your social media marketing. Like we've talked about over the last, when did we start talking about Christmas? August? July, I think. As long as you have been revving up, you should still see traffic. I just think that people are holding off a little bit. They're waiting because, they are being a little bit more careful with their spending. They're saving up. And we can see traffic patterns on Etsy right now. We can see the things that they're searching for over at eRank. And I do see shoppers. There are a lot of shoppers, more than any other time of year. It's just not as much as we saw last year around this time.
There's also a lot of sellers.
Yeah, that's true.
The amount of sellers has gone up and the amount of buyers has gone slightly down. So everyone's going to see a slight decrease in traffic.
Yeah. And for those of you who joined Etsy in 2019, 2020, the first half of 2021, it probably does feel like Etsy's dying out, but that's not the case. If you started selling in, any of the years where the pandemic was still a big deal, not that it isn't, but when we weren't able to go out in stores and shop, you were on Etsy during that prime shopping time when people had to buy online and people were spending very frivolously. So I think that what now we're seeing is Etsy returning to normal. And I'm also noticing that even though our searches for things like Christmas related products are a little bit lower this year than they were last year, they're still higher than they were before the pandemic. So it's not so much that people aren't shopping. It's that people are waiting a little bit to shop. So hopefully you guys are preparing. But today we're going to be talking about holiday stats because there is a lot that you can learn by observing your Etsy stats around holiday time when there's a lot of traffic that you can actually use to apply throughout the year. Knowing what keywords are bringing the most traffic to your shop and to your listings. Knowing where your big traffic sources are, whether that be Etsy or, maybe it's a social media platform and you need to know that, hey, this is the platform I should be focusing most of my energy on. So that's what we're going to be covering today. What was the other link that I put down below? Oh, I've got Pam's video linked down below, and she will walk you through a lot of what we're going to be talking about today from her video last year. But I've also got a link down there about setting up Google Analytics for your Etsy shop. Now, if you have Google Analytics set up for your Etsy shop, you've probably gotten an email over the last few days that basically says that you need to switch to Google Analytics 4 because as of July 1st, 2023, Google Analytics or Universal Analytics is going away and you need to be switched to Google Analytics 4. Here's the problem with that. Etsy has not integrated with Google Analytics 4.
Not yet.
Not yet. So Anthony Wolf this morning sent an email to Etsy. Anthony Wolf is CEO of eRank. He sent an email to Etsy basically saying, we kind of need to know if you guys are working on this. So a couple little quick disclaimers that he wanted me to mention before we got started today are that if you do not already have Google Analytics set up for your Etsy shop, even though it's a pain in the butt,
You should.
even though Google Analytics is going to tell you, don't use Universal Analytics, it's going away, you can still use a lot of valuable data that you can get over the holiday season. Because as of January 1st, you will no longer be able to create any more Universal Analytics properties.
Nope.
What that means is that if you haven't set it up yet, you won't be able to. And though it's not going away until July, you still have that period between now and July that you can be collecting data that you could use, especially holiday time. But if you don't get it set up by January 1st, you're going to miss out. So I went ahead, there's two little purple heart emojis down below. One of those is to Pam's video, but the other one is to the eRank guide on setting up Universal Analytics and how to integrate that with eRank, because what eRank is then able to do is take that really confusing data that Google Analytics presents to us and put it right into your eRank reports. That way you don't have to go on a magical goose chase trying to find, what keywords are bringing you traffic. It's all integrated right into your eRank dashboard. So that's a lot of fun. If you need to set that up, be sure to check out that article. I've also got a video on my YouTube channel. It's step by step. A lot of people come back and say that the video isn't accurate anymore. That's not true. They've just made it very, very hard because they don't want people setting up Universal Analytics. They want them to do Google Analytics 4. But the option is still there to use Universal Analytics. It's just like a teeny tiny little hidden checkbox that they make you toggle on, and most people miss it. So it is still there. But if you want to be able to actually just kind of read the steps, make sure that you check out the article down below.
Sec. Destiny asked, when's a good time to ask questions? Later, after we get through the topic. What's going away? I couldn't hear you. Universal Analytics and Google Analytics. They'll be switching to Google Analytics 4 in July.
Yeah. And you will lose the ability to create new properties. But
however, you're going to want the data for the holidays.
Yes. So that's one of the big things that we'll be talking about today.
But that's the gist of what you would have missed.
Yes. So there are a couple of areas within your Etsy shop that you're going to want to keep an eye on over the holiday season. Right now, it's a little bit early to start looking at these things. I would say that you could, kind of keep an eye on them, but you want to look at nice broad date ranges, not, day by day or, just this week. When you look at data, you can't really get an accurate telling of, what you're looking at when you set these really teeny tiny little date ranges. So thankfully in the Etsy Search Analytics beta, which it's been called beta for 2 years now. I don't know if they're ever going to make it not beta, but anyway, you can set a date range. You can do it all time. I think we saw today, you can run it all time for your business. What?
Hand me my phone.
Oh. You can do just for the month. I would recommend, especially after the holidays pass, looking through about October through December, whenever your holiday shipping cutoff dates are, because that's going to be really telling of the keywords that have helped to bring traffic to your shop. So you can find the Search Analytics beta in your marketing tab over if you're on desktop on the left-hand side where you've got all your little tools and menus. There's a stats page, but then there's also your Google Analytics beta hidden within the marketing tab, and it should be all the way right at the top when you click on marketing. You pop that open and you're going to see all kinds of things, but the one thing that you're going to want to look mostly at is the area that is just called queries. These are basically what people are finding your listings for. I recommend going through that list, seeing if there's anything interesting. Every once in a while, there'll be some terms in there that aren't very good. There was one in my list today for AlphaDept. Do you remember what
it was? Another person with the last name.
With more, yeah.
Moore is the last name. Some random jewelry seller. It's not even like an actual Etsy shop anymore. It's like a brick and mortar jewelry shop in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you get some goofy stuff.
So ignore the things that aren't relevant, but really look at some of the terms that you're being found for. And I recommend heading over to erank.com and creating a keyword list where you keep these. If you've got a free membership, you can make one list. So just add some of those terms in there, because what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to pop in every single month and see how the keyword search trends have changed. So you can kind of see, we've got 15 months of historical data. You can look at the little graph that we have over on the right side when you've saved a keyword to your list, and you can begin looking at the months when that keyword starts to become popular, or if it's popular all year round, or maybe it only gets searched, through the winter. But that tells you that next winter, when you start adding products, maybe that's a keyword that you need to make sure that you're putting into more of your listings. Or maybe, okay, this is a keyword that does work, but it only works in the winter. So I need to remember not to remove this keyword because I don't want to, I don't want to forget about it, or I don't want to accidentally, cut off that traffic flow. I want to make sure that I keep that keyword in there. So that's just a good way to kind of keep track of those keywords and kind of see what their search volumes look like, especially if it's a keyword that that people are already finding you for again. And just continue trying and testing what to work over and over again with other listings. Because if, certain keywords have helped one listing, those same keywords might help another listing. Now, there is a lot of, there are a lot of people who tell you that you should not use the same keywords in multiple listings. That's a load of bunk. There are people who say, you'll compete with yourself. That's a load of bunk. You cannot compete with yourself on Etsy. Though Etsy does try to avoid, clumping a bunch of listings all together, you can show up multiple times on a singular search page. And most of you happens all the time. And most of you can test this for yourselves. As long as you're not searching within an insanely saturated search term, you can often see, consistent names popping up over and over again. So, and it also helps Etsy to kind of identify what you want to be known for. If Etsy sees that all of your listings have the word throw pillows in them, then Etsy says, hey, Janet over here
sells throw pillows.
Sells throw pillows. She specializes in throw pillows. So when Betty is looking for throw pillows, we're going to make sure that we show some of Janet's listings to her, because obviously we want to make sure that Janet gets seen because Janet specializes in these things. So next one is for your actual Etsy stats. So this is not in your Search Analytics beta. This is the actual little menu on your left navigation when you're logged into your Etsy dashboard. It's just titled stats. You can set a date range for these as well. How long did it say the date range? We could only set it back to 2020.
It was July
2020?
Either July or October of 2020. I can't remember specifically. It's probably October.
Yeah, so you can't set your stats to all time like you can your Search Analytics beta.
It's a lot of information to keep.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation.
Oh, we appreciate it.
And up to $150 already. That's crazy.
Awesome. Keep donating, guys. We are doing all of our Friday beans for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. That way, parents don't have to pay anything out of pocket for their children to receive care over the holidays. So make sure that you donate. But anyway, so one of the things that you want to make sure that you're looking at in your normal Etsy stats are the where shoppers found you section. And, some people obsess over this. Sometimes it's not super accurate, but for the most part, it will give you a good idea of things like which social media platforms are driving the most traffic to your shop. Now, with social media, you do have like this little icon, this little arrow that you have to press, and it expands out all of the different social media platforms that are bringing you traffic. You get to gauge external traffic versus traffic directly on the platform on Etsy, and what percentage came from Etsy and what percentage you drove yourself, or, the social media or wherever drove to your shop. But it's good to gauge, because if you're doing a lot of marketing on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, and you see that, hey, of all of my effort, only Instagram is bringing me any traffic, you can say to yourself, well, maybe I won't post to Pinterest anymore. Or maybe I need to up my game on Pinterest. Maybe I don't know enough about Pinterest that it's not,
it as well.
Yeah, it's not doing its job. So I need to spend some more time learning about Pinterest so I can get it equal with the traffic.
But it's a good way for you to gauge where you should, especially if you're a smaller shop, balance your efforts.
Exactly. Now, when you are in your normal stats, you'll also see a bunch of your listings. You can click on those listings to see individual stats for those listings. And there is also a list of keywords that you're being discovered for within that set of data. Now, one thing I will say that I noticed was that I thought that those stats were going to be for that specific listing. I pulled up the tooltip though, and it didn't say for that specific listing. It said for listings and your shop, which leads me to believe that it's just showing, it's showing keywords that you're being discovered for overall, not just for that specific listing. However, you can get a little bit more in depth with how people are finding specific listings by connecting Google Analytics to your Etsy shop, which we'll be talking about in just a second. The last thing that I wanted to bring up is if you currently have Etsy ads set up, you can also see the search terms that your ads are being found for, but that's going to be within your ads section. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to dive super deep into that one because we currently don't have ads set up. But if you want to learn a little bit more about the ads portion of that in particular, make sure that you click the link in the description to Pam Duffy's video, because in her video from last year, she does talk about ads a little bit more. But basically, you can see which keywords are driving traffic to your ads, which is useful information if you're spending a bunch of money on Etsy ads, right? What you doing?
This lady here asked me for my Discord link. You want your next thing here?
Yeah. So next one is the Etsy traffic or eRank traffic stats feature. You can go ahead and continue what you're doing.
Thank you.
A couple months ago, eRank created a new tool where basically if you've got Google Analytics set up through Universal Analytics, because like we said at the beginning, Etsy has not yet integrated Google Analytics 4, unfortunately. As long as you're set up through Universal Analytics, though, you can connect your Google Analytics account to eRank. That way you never have to log back into Google Analytics and try to decipher their hieroglyphs that are so confusing. I stay out of Google Analytics. I'm sure I could get it if I spend enough time on it, but who has time for that, right? eRank, though, right on your dashboard is going to display this really pretty little pie chart and some data right when you log in. It's going to show you all of your top keywords that you're being found for and how many visits per keyword. So how many visits led or how many visits came from specific keywords that you've used. Super duper good information. It's going to show you countries where you've been discovered, and it's also going to show you top sites that brought traffic to your Etsy shop. So once again, if you're doing a lot of external advertising, it's going to help you to kind of see which sites are bringing that traffic to your shop. So very good information that everybody should try to get their hands on before it goes away. You only have until January 1st to actually set up with Universal Analytics because they are phasing it out starting July 1st.
Poof.
So poof. So you have to get it set up now if you want to actually get that holiday data. A lot of people say, well, what's the point if it's just going away? Well, the most valuable data that you can get is during the holidays. So even if it does go away, why would you not get as much of this data to analyze as possible before it goes away? That way, if for any reason Etsy never integrates with Google Analytics 4, once Universal Analytics goes away, at least you have that good data from this holiday season. So make sure that you set that up. Once again, there's 2 little purple heart emojis down below in the video description. One leads to Pam Duthie's video, but the other one leads to our eRank article that Anthony Wolf wrote about how to get that all set up. So consider
Curse by
looking at
Design
that.
also said if you haven't connected traffic connect your traffic stats. Keyword Tool shows you what's going on all of Etsy. Traffic Stat shows you what's going on in your shop.
Yeah, that's Brian.
Yeah.
So
They don't know that.
oh, the alphas don't know that. So basically what you want to do is connect those traffic stats like Brian had said, because you're going to be able to see your total visits that each listing has received for each of the keywords. Like I said, you're going to be able to see your average rank for the listings per each keyword, which, that's very useful information as well. Now, obviously, we always have those people, especially when it comes to like our rank checker tool over at eRank, where they say, how is this useful? Like with personalization, rank is useless. Well, no, it's not, because if you can see that your position is, page 1, position 15 for the keyword that you're trying to optimize for before personalization is applied, that's going to tell you that that's probably not the listing that you need to do any work on. That listing's probably doing okay. That's what the average shopper is going to see in search before, obviously when personalization is applied, it's going to change a lot of things. But that's a good gauge to see which listings you should work on, the ones that are way back on like page 20, versus the listings that you probably don't need to touch because they're already ranking well for the keywords that you're trying to optimize for. And then obviously we talked about with your Etsy traffic stats through eRank, you're also going to be able to see if that traffic was from Etsy or an ad or organic sources within Etsy, such as, the little recommended products, for example, when you click on a listing and then Etsy's like, oh, you might like some of these. That's going to be internal traffic directly from Etsy. And like I said, when you have that all connected up, all that data is like right on your dashboard. It looks super duper nice. You don't even have to dig in to really, explore it. It is just slammed right in your face. You don't have to go log in to Google Analytics and try to sift through the data. We just, bam, show you exactly what you're being found for, where in the world you're being found, and what sites are bringing you that traffic. So I would much rather do that than attempt to, figure it out for Google Analytics. But really, guys, that is it. Those are the stats. That is the data that you guys should be looking for.
Yep.
Keeping an eye out for the keywords that are bringing you traffic. So that's big. The keywords that are bringing traffic to your ads and helping your ads to perform, that's big. And seeing where those traffic sources are coming from, seeing what sites are driving traffic to your Etsy shop and what percentage of your traffic is coming from internally, so Etsy and your SEO, versus external sources like social media marketing. A lot of people also ask me if there's a good percentage to aim for when it comes to the percent of traffic that comes from Etsy versus the percent of traffic that comes from social media. There's no right or wrong answer for that. You'll almost hopefully always see Etsy SEO a little bit higher, but for me personally, I always have tried to just get those as even as I possibly can. If I notice that, Etsy SEO is bringing dramatically more people, yay, that's great. But then I'll usually also try to kind of kick up my social media a little bit just to see if I can influence those numbers. It's fun to watch, but it's not that important unless you're not. I mean, if you're getting no traffic at all, it can be important. But if you see decent traffic, I like to just try to keep those as center aligned as I possibly can. But yeah.
You guys are good to get your questions in. If you've already asked a question, don't worry about repeating it. We'll get to it. We do them in order. Yeah. That's a good time while you guys are getting your questions in to let you know someone had commented about our Discord. We do have our Discord linked down below where you can talk about, all things Etsy or offsite stuff. If you have a not safe for work shop, as in you sell adult things or kinky adult things, you can get support for that there. I also, in that Discord, have another Discord linked just for mine where we'll talk about video game stuff. If you just want to shoot the shiz, post memes, whatever, it's a totally unlimited play space. So.
Yeah. A couple other little quick announcements while we wait on you guys to get your questions in. Handmade Alpha Academy is going to be opening December 1st. That's our 9-module coaching program. It's completely self-paced, but the enrollment is only December 1st through the 10th because Mark and I are only 2 people and we cannot manage a massive crowd by ourselves. So make sure that you check out the waiting list link down below for that. If you sign up, that ensures that you get a big discount. And it ensures that you get a notification when the doors open. That way you don't miss it. And that doesn't obligate you to buy it. Just make sure that you actually get the invitation so you don't miss out. Other thing that is coming up tomorrow is our Black Friday Lifeline. So if you guys got the free Black Friday toolbox linked down below, you probably got your invitation to the Black Friday Lifeline. That's going to be taking place on our channel tomorrow at noon Eastern, same time as the Friday Bean. I'll be sending you guys an email for it, but you can also head right to my YouTube homepage and set your notification there. It's already, the stream is already scheduled. If you do not already have the Black Friday toolbox, this is like your last chance to get it. You're already cutting it really close. I said that last week. Now it's like you should be acting on it, not just now downloading it. But if you're new here, if you just stumbled across our stream, click the link down below in our big long video description. There's going to be a little toolbox emoji. Click on the link that leads there and you can download all of those goodies. There's holiday graphics packs. There's a schedule that you should be following for Etsy's Cyber Week or Black Friday to get your sale ready. And a bunch of other video tutorials to kind of help you out. But I would definitely act on that this weekend. Don't wait because you're running out of time. And then tomorrow, come back here, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK, and hang out with us and we will help coach you through any Black Friday related questions that you might have. And then we also have Critique Week coming up December 5th through the 8th. Every single day at noon Eastern, we will be live critiquing Etsy shops. So for all of you who have said, I want my shop critiqued, you got to show up live. We pick those shops at random from the chat and you'll have the ability to do that to celebrate the enrollment period for Handmade Alpha Academy.
Also, make sure you like the video and subscribe so you can get more awesome content.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get some questions.
I recently learned that TT isn't listed. TikTok isn't listed under social media stats in Etsy. It's under direct and other traffic sections.
Yes, I did. I did know that, but it's kind of silly that they're not giving that its own section because Etsy was promoting the use of TikTok for a long time. So it's kind of
is TikTok a social media? Because it's for the most part not somewhere where people interact with other people. It's mostly people posting things for other people to see.
It's considered social media.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, I know it is literally considered social media, but compared to Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that, where people are usually directly communicating. Like you have the option on TikTok, but most people don't utilize it. Like we have a video with 800,000. Oh no, that was Instagram. Never mind. I'm stupid. Potato. So Google Analytics Universal will still work until July.
Until July.
As long as you have to do it before January.
Yeah, if you don't have it set up already, you got to do so before January 1st. But you'll only have it till July. And if you guys really, really want to kick Etsy in the pants and say, hey, we need Google Analytics 4. We need this data. Go send them a message. Be polite, but that's what Anthony Wolf did this morning. He went and messaged them. I can't tell you what email address to use anymore because they make it impossible to contact them. But if for any reason you have a little chat feature or if you can find an email address for Etsy, feel free to drop them a message and say, hey, I'm just wondering if you guys will be updating to Google Analytics 4 anytime soon.
Brian said you can't put links in TikTok except in the bio, so counting traffic is tough.
Yeah. You don't get your link in bio until 1,000 because my personal TikTok account has link in bio because I had a video blow up. But then my business one, I have only have like 500 something followers there. So
can we join the Facebook group if we haven't purchased the Alpha course? We have 2. We have the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, which is open to the public. You can find that anywhere. And then there's the Handmade Alpha Academy Student Campus, which is for paid students only.
Yes.
If you don't answer the questions on all of the questions on either, you won't be admitted into the group.
So. Yes, but you cannot join the Student Campus if you've not purchased the program. That's for students only. I'm
so excited for all the new students signing up. Yes, we have quite a few saying they're going to.
Very excited.
Thanks. I didn't know how to connect my Google Analytics to eRank. eRank actually, we on our blog we have an article on how to do so.
Linked down. Well. That's what I said was linked down below.
Excuse me. The data shown in data is daily or monthly.
Depends on what data you're talking about.
And most of it you can filter to specific dates.
Yeah, if we're talking about the Etsy the stats data, you can filter that by the date ranges that you want. Just make sure that you're not looking at that daily.
Oh, she said, sorry, this data shown on traffic stats E-rank are daily numbers, question mark?
I believe so, yes. I believe that refreshes every 24 hours.
Can we create multiple listings for one item with different SEO? Will Etsy allow it? Lots of digital sellers do it.
Yeah. I wouldn't go and do like 600 listings of the same item.
No, that's a good way to get yourself banned.
Well, I don't think that it technically is against Etsy's rules, but a lot of people do it to experiment with different keywords. Just don't abuse the system. If you're trying to do an A/B split test, maybe you want to test 2 different thumbnails or 2 different like keyword combinations just to see which one works better. That's totally fine. What you don't want to do is create 600 listings for the same exact product, because if I'm a shopper and I go to your store and I think I'm seeing the same item, but I can't tell the difference, I'm not going to buy any of them, because if they look the same, but they're all listed separately, how do I know what the right choice is at that point? You know, how do I know which one I'm supposed to buy? And because I don't know, I'm more likely to just leave that shop and go buy from someone else. So for the sake of experimenting, yes, but don't abuse the system. So I'm a big fan of testing, though, and doing the little A/B split tests where you've got 2 listings.
I apologize in advance for any clacking noise. I was trying to hold off using a cough drop, but I can't quit clearing my throat.
It's okay.
Fall allergies are real bad this year. I have a question. I've been thinking about changing my shipping dates to 1 to 2 processing days from 1 to 3. Will this affect my rank?
The only things that are going to affect your rank are your tags and titles. And I mean, attributes and your descriptions technically have an effect on the algorithm. But in terms of things that you shouldn't touch during the holidays, tags and titles. That's it. Just tags and titles. If you need to, move your shipping days, if you need to change your prices, if you need to add something into your descriptions, like, your holiday shipping cutoff dates, if you need to mark one of your variations as being sold out or something, none of that is going to affect your rank. Just your tags and titles.
My views, Etsy views, have been consistently triple compared to last year after starting HAA.
Oh, that's so awesome! And I love watching you on social media too. You make super duper pretty things.
Weird world. I would like to open an Etsy shop of my self-made laser projects. Can I already open my shop with my first project, or better to wait until I get some more?
You can't sell what you don't have listed. So if you've got a product that's ready to go, list it. I'm not saying that you're going to get a bunch of sales just having one thing listed. But there's no reason to wait if you've got it ready to go. It's totally up to you. If you'd rather release it like as a little collection of products, that's fine too. But who knows? Maybe you could list that one product and start making a little bit of money from it now.
Can I see this information on the basic E-rank, or do I need to update it? If you're referring to Google Analytics.
E-rank basic accounts should have access to Google, to the search analytics, I believe.
Correct us if we're wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, I don't think that free users get it, but I'm pretty sure that basic and pro members, and now we have an expert plan as well, which honestly, it's very unlikely that any of you even need the expert plan. It's meant more for like, big, giant, massive, or people who are helping others, and coaches and things like that. But yeah, basic, I do believe that you should have it.
I've just started my Etsy shop and I sell mock-ups. Often it's written as mock-ups too. When writing tags for mock-ups, do I need to write tags for both versions with different, or for the different searches?
I would pop into erank.com and go to the keyword tool or the compare keywords tool. Pop both of those terms in, mock-ups as one or mock-ups, see which one gets searched more.
Pam said free has access to Google Analytics with just a few search terms.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So I would see which one is getting the most searches and use those as kind of your superstar keywords, the keywords that you, most want to be found for. But for your tags, it's very unlikely that you've got ideas for all 13 of your tags anyways. I think it would be totally fine, or experiment with both. But if it were me personally, I would go, primarily and really aim for whichever one looks the best based on the data that eRank gives back to you through the keyword tool, because that's going to tell you more how shoppers are typing in those search terms.
And more often than not, and this goes with any hyphenated words, more often than not, one works better than the other. But with mock-ups, with the dash in the middle, you get both mock dash ups and mock space ups because Etsy won't recognize that middle dash as anything more than a space anyway. With mock-ups together, that'll probably be fine. If they're both performing, use both.
Right. Now with plurals, Etsy can tell the difference. Etsy knows.
Etsy can definitely tell the difference.
If it was mock-up versus mock-ups, the S on the end doesn't really matter all that much. Etsy knows that plurals are going to be a little bit different, so you wouldn't need to worry about that. But because mock-up as one word is kind of different than those two words split up, I would assume that Etsy probably sees those terms a little differently.
And I would usually go with being honest over which one's ranking better when it comes to plurals.
Thank you, Mary, for donating. Just a reminder, guys.
And
Maria.
We had quite a few.
Awesome, guys.
We're up to $180.
Perfect. $180 for St. Jude for the holidays. Just a reminder that none of that money goes to us. It goes straight to St. Jude when you guys donate. So we appreciate it.
Ginger said, I've heard we can't use the Etsy E icon or color or on any of our communication, email, website, printed material. You heard anything else about this?
You got an email about it. We cannot use their exact logo, which if you guys have noticed, I've actually stopped using it in my thumbnails. I used to use the logo in my thumbnails a lot, but I have used variants of, and occasionally I just use a big orange E that is in a similar font to the Etsy E, but I make sure that it is slightly different. But yeah,
tricky.
They do have new guidelines for how you use their branding, and you should have gotten an email about it, I think last month. But if you can't find it, just Google, using Etsy's logo, and the official article from Etsy should pop right up.
I've started posting my reels to TikTok and my reach has doubled. I have also been able to network with some other quilters. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not just about making sales. It's about opening up more opportunities. You could meet other people in your industry. You could meet people that you could collab with. You could meet people that sell their supplies that you need, people that are out there literally trying to find people that do what you do in order to sell their supplies. So yeah, there's good reasons to use social media if you're not into it. I know there's a lot of people that are out of social media right now, but you're real missing out.
Oh yeah.
I looked at my year-over-year stats today, and I was down 40% compared to last year over this month. Have you noticed a drop in Christmas searches?
Yeah, Emily, we actually talked about that a little bit at the beginning of the stream. People are kind of holding off, and it's not that I think that we're going to see any. I mean, we'll probably see a little less, sales this holiday season than we did last year, but I don't think that we're going to see less shopping taking place. I think that it's more that people are trying to wait a little bit. They're saving, they're being a little bit more cost efficient with their money, just due to things being a little bit more expensive this year. But I know I personally, and Brian, who's in the chat, he mentioned that I've got my Amazon shopping cart full right now, and I'm waiting till Black Friday to check out because some of those items might end up getting marked down. So once people start, like really, really start, I think that it's going to be a flood. Now, Amber Marie from Amber Marie Studio, you guys know she's like our OG alpha. She is experiencing her flood now, where normally, because her shop is so busy, it's usually August when people start their holiday shopping, and she's able to kind of rev herself up. But she just got slammed out of nowhere this week. And she's actually she's happy that she's making the sales, but she's also like overwhelmed because it just hit her out of nowhere and she's feeling like she's drowning. So I think that we're going to see a very different pattern this year for how people shop, rather than it kind of rising nice and gradual and then kind of taking off in November. I think that November is going to be the spike where it's kind of stayed flat, and then November it's going to shoot up. And I also think we're going to see a lot more last minute shoppers this year.
Where do I see my Google Analytics and eRank? I forgot.
Traffic stats. It should be right on your dashboard. You'll see a little graph and it'll say traffic stats. And then up in your listings, I believe, your listings menu, you should also see a feature for traffic stats.
Would you recommend Etsy Plus?
Etsy Plus is great for aesthetics, but it's not going to help you with anything. It just allows you to have a nice, pretty carousel banner, which means that you can have multiple banners. It gives you different shop sections, or featured items, so you can have nice big photos of your product before your listings actually start, where normally you just get 4 little, squares or rectangles with products. and you get some ad credits. It doesn't help you get more sales. It doesn't help you to rank higher. It doesn't drive more traffic to your shop. So is it worth it? If you're making sales and you want a little bit more branding opportunity, sure. If you think it's going to bring you money and you're just doing it because you want to make more sales, it's probably not for you.
Is it allowed to ask how many students are in HAA? Whole bunch. And how often can I consult you each month? I think paid members, I think we're 600 to 700. And then we have all of our beta testers, early entry people that we've given it to, spouses and stuff like that. I think there's over 900 people on the site.
There's over 900 counting spouses, business partners, and people who have been like our beta testers and people who help us and other. For example, we're going to be working with a photography coach who's going to be contributing some things. So, hey,
that's going to be really dope.
Yeah, HAA students, you guys are about to get some goodies from Christina Nicole. You guys are basically getting a free course from Christina. I'll be sending you an email about it, but for everybody who's going to join HAA, you guys get it too. But how many times can you consult me in a month? There is no limit. You can email me anytime.
However, if it's something that is covered in HAA and you email asking about something in HAA that you haven't gotten to yet, we'll tell you to wait till you get to that module.
Yeah, because you bought the program and everything that I could tell you is in the program.
It's very comprehensive.
So me having to sit and type all of that out to you in a response, it's easier for me to just say, hey, that we cover that in module 7.
And it's in an order that makes sense in which you can follow it front to back. And for those of you who may have other questions about HAA, from the beginning to the end, it is built in a way that if you do not have an Etsy shop, you're fine starting off at the beginning. You don't even have to have an established shop yet, though you can.
Yeah, or if you already have an established shop, it's going to help you to kind of backtrack and fix all of the little things that you might have missed just because when we first, when you first start a business, you don't know everything. You're kind of just bumbling around.
And we've had everyone from absolute beginners get success all the way up to people who are already making 6 figures, more than double their income, just off of things that they've missed.
Absolutely. All right.
How will we know if we do A/B split test that they're both getting that they are both getting equal amounts of exposure? So how do we know it's going to be accurate? I'm assuming you meant if they're both getting an equal amount of exposure.
Well, if they're both getting an equal amount of exposure, then both were a success. So
there's more than one way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, if they, it's very unlikely that they're both going to get completely equal exposure. If they do, you know that both methods work, so you're free to, apply them however. I mean, if you want to just leave those same listings in your shop, I guess there's no hurting if they just perpetually both do well. As long as, like I said, you're not just adding 600 of the same listings into your shop. But that's a successful experiment, in my opinion, if they both do great.
Like you said, beta testing. I don't know why I love when I hear beta testing. Yeah, that was for when we first had the website, like
2018.
Yeah, 2018. We don't need beta testers no mo.
No.
I know you've said before to give a listing 60 to 90 days for Etsy to know what to do with it, but I love butts, but I don't like this kind of butt. If there's no interaction or views, then it slips further into the Etsy abyss, right? What should I do?
So people need to be able to find that listing organically in search. If they, find it, if they favor it from an organic search, not if you link them to it and say, everybody go favorite this, that does nothing. But if they find it in search while shopping and they favored it, if they buy it, if they review it, if they're interacting with it, clicking on it, checking it out, these are things that are telling Etsy that, okay, maybe we should show this to more people. Maybe we should show it more to these types of people. Maybe we should show it to people who live in this area. Maybe we should show it to people who prefer the color purple. There are a lot of different things that, they're going to learn by watching this shopper interaction. However, if you're not getting any interaction at all, I would say that, that's a good sign that maybe you want to start tweaking things. However, I would give it at least 2 months before you start trying to, if it's been 60 days and you have not gotten a single view, okay. It might be okay to go ahead and, fiddle around and move some things around if you're just getting no views at all. But it's the people who go in and say, I change my SEO every week and I'm not seeing any results. I'm like, well, yeah, Etsy doesn't know what to do with your listing because you're sending them mixed signals. First, you're saying, I want to be known for these keywords. Then you're saying, no, wait, I want to be known for these keywords instead. So Etsy doesn't know what the heck to do with your listing. But yeah, after 60 days, you should at least be getting a little bit of views. I would first, before I touch anything, I would play with my thumbnail before I touch my SEO again. Because sometimes it's the thumbnail itself, not the where the product is placed, if that makes sense.
Heather, I have not skipped your question. We do them exactly in order unless it is something that needs attended to.
Yeah, we are currently Mika's comment with all the candies for the cough drops is where we're at.
How long does it take for new listings to show up on Etsy?
Immediately
upon posting, yes.
Immediately, right when you post them. If you're asking how long it takes to rank, technically you rank immediately too. You probably don't rank very good, but you do rank immediately. Those listings are immediately shoppable. But like we talked about a few minutes ago, it's through those interactions, those positive interactions with customers, that listing gets placed higher up in search. And it is catered to the specific personalization of, your shoppers. So for example, if a shopper is known to purchase things that are purple and you have a purple necklace, maybe Etsy makes sure to show your purple necklace over top of a blue necklace because they know that this particular customer likes purple.
Where would I find help with taxes and bookkeeping? As a small business, I highly recommend you get like an actual insured tax specialist or accountant to help you out. We use we're in the United States. We use Block Advisors. It's like H&R Block with all of the guarantees behind them and everything, but it's meant for businesses specifically. It's not meant for your average Joes.
Let me throw out the disclaimer. H&R Block, normal H&R Block.
We don't like it.
No, they've messed up our taxes like 3 times. But Block Advisors is completely separate from H&R Block.
They're contracted, not just employees of H&R Block.
Yeah, and they're very knowledgeable in our experience. Our tax lady, Diana, she's been our tax lady forever. You guys hear us talk about her every tax season.
She's wonderful. We've had her since before HAA started.
She's sassy. She yells at us when we do things wrong. She is our sassy grandma. We go in there and she yells at us and is mean to us and we love her to death.
She's not mean.
But
man, does she get us breaks.
Yeah, she does.
Get yourself a good accountant. And with Block Advisors and just like normal H&R Block, you can see like how many clients they've helped, like what their level of experience is, how long they've been with the company. Like they show you all of that before you sign up. So
that's just our suggestion, though. There's plenty of good accountants out there. That's just what we prefer.
I like Block Advisors because if our tax accountant screws something up, we pay for the insurance. So they have to pay the difference if it's something that they have screwed up in filing.
And if we're audited, all we have to do is just send everything to our tax lady and she takes care of all of it. We don't have to do anything.
We don't have to do anything in the case of an audit unless we have to like show up to court or something.
Yeah, that is so nice to know. It's nice peace of mind.
Has anyone else gotten an email from Etsy saying a product in your shop is under review? Got one this week. Not even sure what listing they're reviewing. Any advice?
Ooh, I haven't heard that one, Laura.
Nope, but if you got any copyright stuff, I'd get rid of it, or stuff that rides that line.
Yeah, maybe just double check all of the keywords because sometimes it's like a term that you never know. For example, I just looked it up and the term wifey is copyright.
By who?
I don't know. Somebody owns it.
Somebody's mom.
Yeah, it's somebody's mom. So just double check the terms that are in the USPTO database trademark. I would use the TESS trademark database to do a quick search on some of the keywords you're using in your listing because it could be as simple as that. If you know for a fact that like the product itself doesn't have, Mickey Mouse or something on it.
I see a lot of stores selling Ray Dunn on Etsy. Yeah. That's crap. Why does Etsy allow this? There are more than... Okay, so copyright. Go ahead.
Etsy does not allow it. There are 5 million Etsy sellers. Now, there are 2 ways that we could propose that Etsy fixes this, and they're both bad. First way, a human being looks at every single product that is listed on Etsy, including yours. Now, with that comes room for human error and subjectivity. What if that person who is manually looking at every single item that every single of the 5 million sellers uploads to Etsy, and they look at yours and they say, your item looks like it was made too professionally. You did not make this by hand. You cannot list it on Etsy.
That also pulls that customer support away from being able to support you. Now they've got 1,000 people just sitting and looking at listings instead of responding to emails.
So human error. Second solution, okay, let's have a bot do it. Let's have a bot identify things that get uploaded to Etsy.
LOL. No.
When the Ambergate thing took place earlier this year, when all of the Amber jewelry got removed from Etsy, people with their name Amber got listings removed. People who classified their products with having an amber color, like an amber colored pillow, had their listings removed because bots can't tell. Now, Etsy legally cannot remove copyright items. They are legally not allowed to do that. The IP holder, the owner of that intellectual property, is the one who has to file the report. So the real question should be, why is Ray Dunn not reporting to Etsy that this is their intellectual property?
Somebody had replied with that. In the United States, at least, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the United States, you cannot file a copyright complaint on behalf of someone else unless you are their agent. If you are a talent agent, then you can file on their behalf. However, Etsy is not a talent agent for anyone, as far as I know, is not a talent agent for anyone. So they cannot file on behalf of anyone for any reason at any time, nor can they defend you if someone sues you because you sold something.
Exactly. But there is a new, well, I say new, it came about in the spring. There's a new Etsy IP reporting portal that just came out where somebody can type in a couple keywords associated with, maybe they type in Mickey Mouse, for example, or Disney lawyers come in and type in Mickey Mouse. Every single Mickey Mouse item will pop right up, and then they can just click report, and report all of those listings. Now, a lot of people say, but there's so many people who do it. Yeah, but it's also because these lawyers like to sit around and kind of stalk these sellers until the sellers have made enough money to have a nice big fat case against them. And then they can say, this Etsy seller has made over $1 million on our intellectual property, so we're going to sue them for damages of, $1 billion or something ridiculous.
Which is totally legal, by the way.
But, is it worth it? Is it worth it to list products like this? Could your lawyers be, a large company like Ray Dunn's lawyers?
Nope, probably
not. So it's not worth it, guys. You don't just get your shop shut down, you get IP banned, which means you can never open another shop and you cannot open a buyer account. It's not worth it.
Miranda said most listings are inspired by, which, by the way, does not make you safe against copyright. Ray Dunn would need to fight. Yeah. That's what we said.
Yeah.
I know you should leave tags and titles alone during this time, but if you find your keyword analysis that people coming to your shop are using a word you don't use, is it okay to add? I do research on the word.
Adding a term, like say that it's subtracting things that can cause an issue, not really adding things. If you add something, it shouldn't do anything, but
unless it's something wildly different than what you're actually selling, and then it could just be an error on Etsy's side where they're connecting dots that shouldn't be, and eventually that will probably get severed.
Yeah, I wouldn't
just be careful.
I wouldn't touch bestsellers. Don't touch bestsellers.
Never touch bestsellers.
Yeah, don't touch bestsellers. But if you've got listings that aren't performing at all, you can't hurt what is already broke. So you could totally tweak things that aren't doing well. That's not a big deal.
I have two shops, one for physical products and the other for digital products. That product's same design but different photos and tags and titles. Is it okay to list the product on my two shops? If one is a physical and one is a digital, then yes, they're two completely different shops. As long as you're not selling exclusivity rights for the digital product.
Yeah, you also can't obviously you can't sell the same, like you couldn't pop the digital file into the physical product shop because you can't sell the.
But if it's the thing in the digital shop on a shirt in the physical shop,
that's fine, because those are two different products.
It's yours.
Just make sure that you've got your both shops in your Etsy bio. So you've got, my name is blah, 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 and my shops are this one and this one.
The Ryan said one other question. However, there is no other question.
If you guys use the word Instagram or IG in your comments, it gets blocked now. We tell you to use the word pomegranate in place of, or banana in place of Instagram, because for some reason that term is just attacked by spam bots.
If we put Instagram anywhere, it's just immediate, like thousands of bots attacking our channel.
So we've blocked the word altogether.
One other question, will eRank ever incorporate an estimated number of products sold similar to other platforms? Is that even legit? Thanks.
We can't do that. You're not allowed to estimated number of products sold.
Of your own or a competitor's?
Because we talk about, you have a competitor sales report. There is a competitor sales report. What we can't do is day by day tell you how many sales your customer or your competitors are making. We can't say like, oh, this shop sold this bracelet to somebody in Canada. We can't get that specific with it, but your competitor sales report does tell you how many sales your competitors have.
I've noted that people are buying cheaper products than last year. Yeah, probably. The economy's been a little poopy. It's recovered for the most part, but things are still pretty expensive and people are still having trouble getting money. So I would expect to make sales, but I would say they're probably going to be cheaper items. You're welcome.
Awesome.
I'm brand new to Reels. I've been using your trending clips you've provided. Thank you, but some sounds are shorter than my reel. Should I shorten my reel or can I repeat the sound?
You have to shorten your reel. So you have to use reels that are like the same length. Now, what you can do is go in as you're uploading your reel and you can shorten it right when you're in the reels, like uploader type thing. And then you can add the audio. Just make the reel like either, try to get it as close as you can. You might have to go back and forth a couple times. And you can usually sync it up pretty well. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but the short answer is that they need to be about the same length, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. I'll get Heather's question because she asked it and it apparently didn't come through. It came through this time. My other question was about Etsy Black Friday Cyber Sale. Did I miss an announcement to join currently in the home sale? Chatted with an Etsy guy who didn't know what I was talking about.
The Etsy Cyber Week sale, that starts... They've got one... Darn it, I got the dates on my video that I just recorded. Does anybody remember what the exact dates are? There's one for like the 16th or it ends on the 18th, and then that's for mobile. And then there's a sale that starts from the 19th to the 28th. I can't remember the exact dates. So much information to memorize, guys. If somebody give me the dates. Yes, it starts on the 17th. Thank you.
Is it worth setting up ads for just the holidays at the lowest price? My shop is very slow and I'm not doing many sales, so I'm on the fence about ads. That's if you can afford to try ads, if you've never tried them before, it's a good time to try them, I guess, but that's totally up to you.
Yeah, it's either it's going to be worth it or it's not. So, try it out, test it. There's no better time to test it than the holidays. I can't promise you that it's going to do super well, but Valley Smithy, Mike said, complete the, well, you scrolled up, so now I can't see it. Complete all the modules in order. You may become very overwhelmed. Yes,
modules.
Exactly. The modules, that's what I said.
You said models. You love the number 600 or you've seen a shop with 600 listings of the same product. Can't tell if being a smart ass.
Probably not.
You sound like you're being a smart
600 just sounded like the best.
It's a random number we pulled out of our butt.
Completely random.
Updated HA is even better than the original. I will agree with that because I spent
a
lot of time editing and making that. If you are an existing HA student and you haven't gone through the rebrand that we did for the last launch, you definitely should because it's a lot better.
Yeah.
And we re-recorded all the videos too. 900 is pretty much, besides the course modules, is one of you analyzing the shop to tell us students, okay, so you really have to work on blah, blah, blah things. So no, we don't analyze shops. If you get through HAA and you still need help, or you need help with a module you're currently working on, don't understand something, you have her personal email that you can ask questions for. If you get to the end of HAA and you're still struggling, then we'll do our best to help you along and try to identify where the issues are. Most of the time, students don't need help after they finish it. We've only ever had less than 5, I think, people like in total.
2 or 3 people
contact us and they're like, yeah, I just don't get this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I cannot walk into an unfinished house. I can't walk into a house that is just wood frames and try to say, wow, the decor is lovely, because you haven't finished it yet. And HAA is anything and everything. It is the best part of my soul. It is everything that I could ever pack into a one-on-one coaching session plus 1,000 times more. It is anything that I would ever give advice to sellers. It is everything that I know. And when I learn more, that goes into the program. That's why we just updated the entire thing. Everything that I know about business is in that program. So if you get
Etsy.
Or Etsy. So if you get through the entire thing and you need a little extra help, that's what I'm here for. But I will recommend that if you get in and you start bombarding me with a bunch of questions that's already covered in the course, what I'll likely tell you is, hey, that's a great question. We covered this in Module 7.
Yep.
Feel free to reach out to me if you have questions after you complete Module 7. So
yeah, we do ask that you complete it before asking any questions, unless it's about the content at hand that you're not understanding.
Absolutely.
Etsy put an accidental reserve on my account for a week. They then took it off, saying that it was a tech error, but did nothing for my shop for their error.
That sounds like Etsy.
Sure does. I think Etsy has a partnership with a tax finance partner.
Yeah, Tax Jar, I think.
I don't know.
Or QuickBooks.
I think it's QuickBooks. I like having somebody I can go in and speak with.
Yeah, I would prefer to go in and speak to my accountant.
Especially the bigger that you get, once you start reaching like actual full 6-figure or 7-figure sales, like you're not going to want an online. And please, for the love of God, if you're running a business, do not file your taxes yourself online unless you are a tax professional and know what you're doing.
Oh my goodness.
Please. And it's not just that you could goof something up. It's more than likely you're missing out on discounts that you could be getting and paying a lot more than you should be paying.
There are some crazy exemptions that our accountant gets us for things that we would have never known.
Yeah, and they change every year. I mean, unless you're keeping up with tax law, you're looking into seeing like what bills are being passed that changes by who's in office. Like there's a lot of things that change from year to year, and I doubt most of you can keep up with it. We can't keep up with it.
Heck no.
I don't have time for that. So yeah, get a tax professional. I just got a scam from YouTube and I clicked the link like a dummy. Yeah, definitely never click links unless you can identify with it. If you get a link from a serious service that seems a little weird to be getting, especially if you're on Gmail, if you click the little drop down arrow, it'll give you the full URL that it's coming from. There are ways you can spoof where it says like, oh, it's coming from Amazon.com, but then you drop it and then it's like 45 letters and numbers in a stream .amazonscams.com. Like double check your links just to be sure.
We appreciate you guys.
We do. If your Etsy shop's not getting enough traffic through conversions, even after you used eRank to fine tune your keyword and ensure you have great pictures, where else can you gain added traffic?
I recommend Instagram. It's my favorite external traffic source. Down below is my free 30-day Instagram challenge that you can start that anytime. Start now. Start right now. If you want to get some traction before the holidays, again, it's a little late. We don't have 30 days until Cyber Week. But start now and see what you can do with it. It's free. It comes with like a schedule to follow, a post planner. It comes with prompts to follow. If you're like, I don't know what the heck to post, I give you all the ideas. So yeah, that's free. It's linked down below in the video description.
Am I the only one who heard Amber Gate
and thought the act?
Yeah. She's terrible too. There's a book called Wifey by Judy Blume. So I'm guessing it's the publisher with the copyright. Okay.
Possibly, but
that would only be on a book because books are very specific.
Yeah, when it comes to the title of a book, because it's going to be two unrelated products, I believe that the term wifey was owned by like somebody who prints shirts or something like that.
Yeah, when it comes to books, I don't believe you can hold a bar on a name of things because there are so many books that are the exact same name. Hostage.
You guys should go read my book this weekend.
She's got a book. It's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle.
You can get it on Walmart.com. You can buy it everywhere.
You can buy it everywhere. It's called The Channel by Starla Moore.
Yes.
What are the odds you do tweak a good seller and actually end up being more successful with it? 50-50?
If you want to gamble all of your poker chips, that is on you. Do I advise you do it? Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Not.
You're on the whatever the little spindly doodad is in Vegas, tossing your chips in on one color. That's what you're. I don't know what that game's
Russian
called.
roulette.
Russian roulette is with a gun.
Russian roulette is with a gun. You are right.
We don't gamble.
We don't gamble. Which it is kind of like Russian roulette though, because you might accidentally shoot yourself if you tweak your bestseller and mess it
up. If you find that your stats that you're showing on first page for a term This is when we should double down on those terms, but maybe not this style or exact design.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely try to make a different product, but if you can get those same keywords in there, that's great. That would be be a good idea to kind of use what you're learning about the keywords that people are searching to kind of gauge, where is the customer demand? Because we have to also remember that it's not just about, what you can make and the keywords you can use. We often also forget, like, what is the need in the marketplace that I'm filling? What type of person actually wants this thing? If you make purple banana sculptures, who's to say that somebody even wants a purple banana sculpture? Or maybe what people really want is a red banana sculpture, and you only make purple banana sculptures. You have to make sure that you're making what people want to buy. But, sometimes you don't know until you test. So
sometimes you just don't know.
Sometimes you just don't know.
I lost it.
You got it.
Right here?
Yeah, you already read it.
I already read it?
Yeah, you just
I already read
that.
I read that one too. It's probably different for everyone, but TikTok's been giving me a lot more traffic to Etsy compared to Pomegranate. I sell digital patterns for embroidery.
I've been posting reels a lot. Somebody asked a few minutes ago if the reels algorithm has changed. It did. What I'm noticing reels are still getting a lot of traffic. I had somebody ask me if it's like not worth doing them anymore. No, it absolutely is. I'm still seeing tons of good engagement from reels on all of my different accounts. I have 8 Instagram accounts, all totally different. I've got one for my vampire romance podcast. I've got one for my personal. I've got one for the alphas. I've got the one for E-rank. I've got a bunch, but they're all doing okay. I haven't really noticed like a huge drop in the reels traffic. But what I have noticed is that carousel photos on Instagram seem to be doing better than they ever have. Those are the ones where you scroll. And I don't know if it's just because of my specific, industry, the Etsy tips and things, but I am getting an astronomical amount of engagement on those. So might be something that you guys want to experiment with, where you post, multiple photos and then, encourage people to kind of scroll through them. They seem to be doing pretty well. So maybe test that.
Fruits. Did Instagram Reels algorithm change?
It did. Yes. Oh, thank you, Brian. Cyber Week is the 17th through the 30th. That is for the desktop people. The mobile people get access to an earlier sale. But I can't remember what the dates for the early one is.
If I make a laser project, then I can sell it in Europe and in other shop digital over the world because it's too much to send to America. Oh, so they want to do their digital shop everywhere and their physical products in Europe. That's totally fine. As long as you're not putting the same digital product in 2 different shops or the same physical product in 2 different shops. If you make a digital product in one shop and then you put that whatever that digital thing is on a shirt or clothing or whatever on a print, that's also totally fine. You just can't have the same listing in 2 different shops.
Yeah.
If they're different products, it's 2 different listings.
Yeah. Etsy doesn't want you to saturate the marketplace like that, though.
Oh, no, I was messing with you too, Leon. I heard some sellers only have 20 to 30 products, list same design, but different variations, and they get lots more sales within 1 year. How they can do. I don't know. People like the products.
It's like they have the same type of listing, but it's all the variations.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine.
I mean, it's not breaking any of Etsy's rules, technically. It probably doesn't make their shop look super professional, but hey, whatever works for them, I guess.
How can I add to the Etsy Cyber Week sale? I didn't get any notices on my dash.
It hasn't started yet, I don't think.
If you don't have
If
you don't have a large social media following, where's the best place to advertise your sale?
Well,
start it.
I mean, social advertising your sale is, you kind of have to have someone to advertise it to. So, now if you're doing your Etsy sale, you can obviously, kind of deck out your actual storefront if you want to like put something about your sale in your banner and stuff. That's not really advertising though. Social media is really it. I mean, that's advertising. Social media is advertising. And if you don't have a big audience yet this year, work on building that for next year. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but you have to build these things up. There is no like magical platform where you can just start posting things and see traffic from it. You have to build up. You have to put a lot of work into it. That's why we start telling people like, hey, take the Instagram challenge all the way back in like the summer, because we knew that you would need that traffic by the time, November rolls around. So, don't feel too discouraged. I know that it can be a pain when you don't feel like your products are being seen. Do what you can with the audience that you have. If you make a couple sales from them, cool. But in the meantime, work on growing that social media following and maybe even an email list. We don't teach that here on the channel, but I do teach it in the Handmade Alpha Academy because there's a lot of legalities, and it allows me to make sure that you guys are able to actually not mess things up, because I don't want you to be mad at me if you mess something up and get in legal
Easy
trouble.
to mess things up.
Yeah. So, but you can set up an email list. If you don't plan to take Handmade Alpha Academy, I just recommend MailChimp and go to their YouTube channel to watch all of their videos on how to do it, because, they pretty much walk you through the whole process. You just need to make sure that you're looking up your laws for GDPR and the Can Spam Act. That way you don't get in trouble. But other than that, it's a slow process that you got to kind of build up to, but do your best, and you can always work towards it a little bit more next year.
I understand. It's necessary to finish the course and apply all learned stuff and see how it's going, but I can tell your free YouTube videos have helped a lot, so I believe in HAA.
That's awesome.
That's how most people get into HAA. Most of them are...
It was mine.
Oh, it was yours. Okay.
Yeah, it was an email.
Gotcha.
And Maria, there are probably, I would venture to say that probably 25% of the chat right now is probably Handmade Alpha Academy students. If you're an HAA student, put like a wolf emoji in the chat right now, because I know that there's a lot of you here. But we're close. I do my best to be present. Right now, I haven't been in the student campus very much, just because we're kind of gaming up for the holidays, and we've got some things that we're adding to the program. We've got, like I said, I'm working on this cool new thing with a photography coach, which HAA students are all going to get goodies for that.
Yeah, you basically get a free course with HAA for photography stuff.
I'll be sending you guys, all students, current students, you'll be getting an email about that. Hopefully this weekend. If not this weekend, then early next week. I need to check a couple things to make sure that I'm doing everything right.
And you also get a free year of E-Rank Pro.
Oh yeah, 12 months of E-Rank Pro.
We always forget to mention that, but you get 12 months of E-Rank Pro for free.
Yeah.
I got a hold on one of my Fields of Fluff shop on one order that I already shipped. It's a big glitchy joke, especially since I already got paid out for that order. Yeah,
that's awful. Etsy around the holidays, they need to not mess with things around the holidays, because when they do, they mess things up.
It would definitely be helpful if you would audit the student stores after we finish the course. Yeah, we got an email from someone complaining about that a couple of weeks ago. And to be brutally honest with you, last HAA launch, we had 146 people sign up. We calculated out the amount of time that it would take, and it is an astronomical load of work. Because not only would we either have to meet with people or record a video, that's recording time, editing time, auditing time, communication. You're looking at like well over 2 hours per person. So that's 300-ish hours of work. It's not feasibly possible for us. That's why we do them here on YouTube for everyone and for those who actually need it. Because the majority of people, and there's a lot of people here that can attest to this, they get so busy before they're even done with HAA that a lot of them don't even have the time to finish it. So if you get to the end of the course and you're not busy and you need one, you can totally email us and we'll do that. That is within the range of options for us, but we can't, it is available if you need it, but we cannot do it for everyone.
Here's our options, guys. We could hire a bunch of people, and we could be like this big company with where you email and you get, support team member Bob.
It's just us, just the two of us. Just the two of us.
But we figured that you guys probably appreciate us and having us and knowing that you're not going to get stuck with some weird, virtual assistant of ours.
When you get real advice from us every time.
So you guys, it's kind of the unfortunate thing about us trying to just be us, because we could definitely use, a nice big fat team of helpers.
And that Brian said, you have the HAA student campus, which is full of people who have already completed and other people that will be going through it at about the same pace as you. So if you need an audit from other people who are experienced to do well, and you don't want to bother us with it, you can totally post
Not
your
that it
shop.
bothers us.
Not that it bothers us, but it's either we can either provide support or we could do audits for everyone, because doing audits for everyone would literally take all of our time.
Yeah.
It would be consistent, like 10-hour days for months, being able to get that all done for you guys. So there's just no way.
Yeah. I wish
We could. I legit do.
Yeah, because like a majority of my week is planning these YouTube, not this YouTube, but the videos that come out on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
scripting those, recording those, editing those.
Because HAA time is not on its own. It is in addition to what we're already doing.
And working for E-Rank.
Yeah, and working for E-Rank. I put in 16 hours to E-Rank over the last week and a half. I do data analysis. I don't have to do a lot. But either way, that's still time that we're having to take away from our already existing projects. We have YouTube, we have all the emails that we send out, Facebook content, Instagram content. We run a business as well. So
yeah.
Multiple.
and that's a benefit though, us working for E-Rank. I know that's like, oh, you guys have another job. It's not even that we have a job. We have an in.
We have an insider.
We have an in for you guys. That way, when things change, for example, Etsy recently changed their algorithm. Nothing that you guys need to worry about. I'll be making a video on it, and I think it's going to be like 2 weeks. But we get some information before anybody else, and it's not their algorithm that changed. They've added something new. So you'll learn about that very soon.
I get messages from Etsy quote unquote coaches offering to help with sales. Yeah, no, don't.
If they message you on Etsy, they're already breaking Etsy's rules.
Report them.
That doesn't give you a lot of confidence that they know what Etsy's rules even are. I would not trust anybody like that.
Report them.
Never respond to those.
And if you're paying for a course and you don't know what you're getting for it, you probably shouldn't be paying for it either. And we tell you everything that you're getting for it.
Not to mention, we've got a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee.
No homework. You just send me an email, say refund, and that's enough. If you have feedback, I appreciate it, but
always make sure that your coaches have a refund guarantee. Always, unless you're meeting with them one-on-one, because their time is valuable. If you're meeting in like a call.
Absolutely. And most coaches are busy enough that that's why we say we don't do individual, because it's not worth it. It's better that you just buy HAA because it's going to cost you about the same anyway.
Oh yeah. We have people who ask all the time if I'll do one-on-ones, and they ask, I would charge you more than I know that you would want to pay.
A lot of coaches don't do personal time one-on-one with people strictly because of how much it costs, because the majority of the time coaches have more than one business. You got to consider that doing that individual one-on-one thing, it's taking away from YouTube content, it's taking away from future planning content, HAA content. You're pulling not just from us, you're pulling from everything that we give support to. So that is what you pay for with any coach.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on Amazon Handmade platform?
I sold on Amazon Handmade for a little while, right when it opened. I was one of the first people on it. It's okay. You have to expect that Amazon shoppers are Amazon shoppers. They expect the products to arrive at their door as quickly as possible. They're going to be a little bit more brutal in their reviews. Some people see a lot of success with it. Some people don't. You have to apply. So if you're thinking about applying, I would definitely do that. That way you can at least secure your spot. But I don't really have any thoughts. I didn't care for it personally, but I know a lot of people who make a lot of money on Amazon Handmade. So it's just up to you.
What's the best way to post reels for digital items? My reels for my candles do really well, but my digital item ones do not.
It just depends on what type of digital item is. If you're doing artwork, then you could show you designing and creating the art. If it is... maybe it's like a digital chore planner for your kids. You could show like the kids actually completing it. Completely dependent on what the product is, though.
Adding vampire romance podcast to my list of notes. Yeah, I don't care for it either.
It's for teenagers. We do it for kids. Leave us alone.
Thanks for the tip about a license deal with SJM. Akatar is now the second most searched term for my shop with 800 plus items. It's bringing traffic to the rest of my shop.
That is amazing. And in the top searches for print on demand, a Court of Thorns and Roses sweatshirt was one of the top searched items for print on demand sweatshirts last month.
What is SJM?
Sarah J. Maas. It's an author of a book series.
Your boot camp is great, by the way. I'm getting lots of engagement. I started on Monday, scheduled out the rest of the year, and it's worked in just the past 4 days by staying consistent with posting.
That's awesome.
Consistency is key with everything.
I'm sorry you just now were able to start, though. I wish you could have started back in October, but I'm really glad that you're still seeing traction from it. Look at all them wolves. Look at all them wolves.
Look at that.
Look at all them wolves.
I'd adore having the paid version of E-Rank on my list of investments to make ASAP.
Oh, yeah. Basic is good for most people, though, so don't feel like you need to immediately jump in and get the pro plan. Basic is going to be enough for most.
Can we say optional upgrade, possibly? Don't know what you're referring to, Jennifer.
What'd you mean, Jennifer?
What do you mean by can we say optional upgrade, possibly?
Let us know. Let us know.
I think I'm on the very last module of HA. Part of me is scared to finish it because I don't want it to end. The others really, I've not had any time to finish it.
You'll also cry. The last video will make you cry. I guarantee it'll make you cry. If you're hormonal, don't watch it. It'll make you cry. I cried when I recorded it. Go ahead.
I didn't realize that you couldn't duplicate listings amongst different shops. I did that recently. Are you safe if you modify one slightly from the other? You shouldn't be selling the same item in 2 shops no matter what.
My gut instinct says no. It's a risk either way. I'm not the one to answer that. Etsy is. But my gut is telling me no. But my body's telling me yes.
I'll deal with that after the stream. That's my husband. He didn't mean to insult you. Oh no, I don't care.
Oh.
He's sensitive and you hurt his feelings.
Oh no.
It's the one that emailed me. Yeah, no, it's I take offense to things when it comes to my business when I already work extremely hard. So if I offended him, I do apologize, but I don't take crap. I'm ex-military. I won't.
Here's the thing. When things come in an email, we don't get tonality. And when people are very abrupt, sometimes it sounds sharper than probably what the individual emailing us intends.
There's no tone when it comes to text. So if it comes off as crappy, it comes off, which is a great plug for Grammarly, because if you pay for the premium Grammarly, it will analyze your text for intent and will tell you what your text sounds like. So if you're someone who's not good at that, it's like $10 a month. I recommend it. I really do.
I felt really bad in that situation because I think that there really was just an issue in communication, and it sounded very much like you guys just haven't had the chance to get through the course, and the holidays are coming and you're nervous, which is understandable. I can understand feeling nervous about the holidays, but you guys bought the course. You didn't buy an Etsy shop critique. And if you want one of those, there are people who sell those.
Yeah.
We just aren't those people. What you bought was the course. And if you haven't had time to finish it, that's not what we sold. We didn't sell you a critique that you're not getting. We sold you a program, and you having not been able to finish it, that shouldn't reflect on what we sold. So we hope that everything's okay with you guys. We do appreciate you, and we appreciate him for reaching out. And I think that what it really was just miscommunication, him being nervous, Mark being sick, them butting heads a little bit. But
Mark being Mark.
I
throw hands in my emails.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. But overall, we're glad that you're here. I know that you joined the Facebook group. Make sure that he knows that we're not mad at him at all. And we definitely didn't ignore him. I think that he also thought that we were ignoring his questions, but YouTube is kind of weird. So certain keywords you use in your questions, YouTube doesn't show them because we have them blocked on our channel. Like Instagram, that's why everybody is saying banana and pomegranate.
No, I answered all his questions.
Yeah, well, we did. I think that he missed a couple of the answers, but they're there.
Anyway.
Replay's still available.
Also having professionals from various fields of study and walks of life that are successful in the HA student group to care about you and help. Yes, that's probably my favorite part about it.
Yeah, Christina, the photography coach that I talked about, we just added her to the student campus. That way, when you guys have photography questions, there's a photography coach right in the program. The E-Rank staff, Debbie and Pam, and even Anthony Wolf, they're all in the student campus if you need to tag them. We have so many experts in there. So
I think he had a bro crush and now he won't watch.
Aww.
That's okay.
No. Tell him to come back.
Who's got a bro crush here?
Tell him that we...
Where's my bro crush gang?
I was going to say, tell him we want him back.
I'd rather have you two than any other SEO big corporate company. Same, which is why our deals that we do, we keep them from being paid.
Photo search. Yeah, that's what we're going to
Photo search.
But I'm not covering it yet.
I don't know. I'm skeptical about it. because I use Google Lens and I can almost bet that Etsy's either using Google Lens API or they're using something similar. And Google hasn't been able to do very good with it. I mean, it's hit or miss. Sometimes like you'll take a picture of like a flower and it'll tell you the exact flower and like every bit of information about it. Sometimes you'll take a picture of like a normal car and it'll give you like adult links. Like it's random and it's unpredictable. So I'm skeptical about it, but I have high hopes for it. But that means it's going to be more, we'll talk about it more. It's going to be more important to have clear pictures.
I was gonna say, don't give them spoilers. I'm doing a video on it.
I like tech. I'm a nerd.
I know you can't cover it yet. It's spoilers video coming soon. Not this upcoming week, but I think the week after.
I think, of course, is great. We just can't finish until the holidays because we're so busy.
That's best case scenario, though. That's awesome that you guys are so busy, and you guys have a really unique set of products. Like they do the super cool. Like, do you remember in the '90s when you would go to the like fairs and things, and you could get like a cool like airbrushed basketball with your name on it, and it was all like like graffiti style? Yeah. I think that you guys have a great product, and I'm glad to hear that you're, doing so well, especially for the holiday season.
All right, we got about 5 minutes, so I'm just going to blast through down to Kelsey's comment here. Will you ever sell your jewelry again? She says maybe. I say no.
Here's the thing.
We don't have time.
That's hours and hours and hours and hours. And hours and hours. And I know that it hurts people's feelings because they're like, your jewelry was so pretty and I loved it. And you know what? I love to make it. But you know what I love more and what I went to school for? Teaching. And if I do that, I have to either stop working for eRank or stop doing YouTube or stop running HAA. I'm prioritizing the things that fulfill me the most, that make me the happiest, and that allow me to help the most people. Those things take priority over a material item that I sell. So I do have lots of other product-based businesses, some of which you guys don't get to know about because if I told you, you would go and start poking around and mess my stats all up.
We do have other shops that we work with, though. So
yeah,
and on.
I was gonna say. So yeah.
How do I see how many people have my item in their cart? I could see this before my items were on sale, but now this info has gone, and instead I see the sale price.
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I didn't know that it went away, so I couldn't tell you. I would just keep an eye on it because it probably sounds like Etsy's, testing things.
Almost done with Black Friday planning. Have to get back to HAA getting my logo design now. Gotcha.
Awesome, Linda. Or do you have somebody doing it for you? Did you hire it out? Yeah, Brian said that he loves Amazon Handmade. That's awesome.
Is there a way to see what social platform people are coming from in Etsy? Google Analytics.
Well, you can go right into your Etsy, right in your stats tab. We talked about that a little earlier. Just click on stats and then it'll say social media. Click on social media and it'll drop down and it'll tell you the platforms. Or if you've got, like we talked about at the beginning, your Google Analytics account set up and attached to the Etsy traffic stats feature right on your eRank dashboard, will show you the websites that are driving traffic to your shop.
Have you watched the new Vampire Academy series?
No, because I want to read the books first. I'm going to read the books before I watch the series. No spoilers. I'm currently reading Charm, though, from Tracy Wolf's Crave series, which is what our podcast is about.
A couple of people said the first video made them cry.
Oh, the first video.
You're not the first person to say that she reminds you of Drew Barrymore, and I don't think she looks anything like Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore and Winona Ryder. I don't look like either of those women.
Not even remotely.
I hear it all the time, though, so I don't think I look like anybody. I can't look at anybody and think I look like that person. Same with, he used to look like a young, when you were really little, you used to look like Frankie Muniz. I know.
Screw you.
I know you say that you didn't, but
screw you.
Cute little Frankie Muniz. You look like little, you don't anymore.
Right. I think that's, I'm struggling with working in my business and on my business. Would a virtual assistant help with that? And how do I find a good one?
Yeah, that's what a virtual assistant is for. You have to have specific guidelines based on what you need from them, but you can find them on sites like upwork.com. Just, make sure that you have a strict set of work for them. Don't try to hire somebody and then say, yeah, I need some more social media traffic. Like, work your magic. You need to plan to tell them exactly what you need done every single day. So it's work to have a virtual assistant, but once they get in the flow, then it's less work and less and less and less as you move on. But
Vampire Academy books are really, really good too. The show takes the intent and really makes it relevant today.
Oh, fun.
Got it. But that's we're gonna have to see a pic of young Mark for ourselves.
It's I just posted one in my YouTube actual posts feed on Instagram, in my Instagram stories. I posted a happy Veterans Day post, but I've got little Mark in his little Mark in his uniform.
That's my rapper name.
Little Mark in his uniform from when he was in the Air Force. I've got that posted for Veterans Day, so feel free to go. He was actually he was older, so, but I think when he was a teenager, like when he was real little. But anyway, guys, I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. There are freebies down below. Don't leave without your goodie bags. The Black Friday Toolbox. If you don't have that, you need to get it. This is your last chance to get all these things. I always have people who are like, "You're what?" I'm like, we shout it out every week. Black Friday Toolbox. That's completely free. It's going to have a complete like checklist on everything that you need to do every single day to prepare for Black Friday. It's got a graphics pack of little pre-cut out high quality HD images that I photographed myself and cut out myself for you that you can put onto your holiday graphics. There are some video tutorials in there. My swipe files are in there. Lots of goodies. There's also the 30-day Instagram challenge. Again, you don't have 30 days to, prepare for Cyber Week, but it's better to start now than, not at all. So 30-day Instagram challenge is great. And the waiting list for the Handmade Alpha Academy, which is opening up on December 1st through the 10th, is down there. Remember, signing up for that does not obligate you to buy, but it does ensure that you can get our big community member discount, and you get a notification right when doors open on December 1st, because we only have 10 days that it's open. Mark and I are only 2 people. If we left it open all year, we would be very busy. Though, we have considered leaving it open all year at the full price and then just doing the discount twice a year. So
because then if you really want in, you can, but
it'll be double the price.
It'll be double the price.
Yeah, we're thinking,
because I don't have that. Here's the main issue with that is that I have to push updates, and a lot of the times the payment system has to be not active for me to do that because of our current system. It may be different with the new one. However, that means usually I have from the final payment date of the last plan until the first day of the new enrollments. So like with this launch, I have from the 25th to the 1st.
27th.
To completely, the
27th. You said the 27th. That's what's on my calendar, which would only give you a week.
Because we have things to do on the 25th and 26th. Yeah. Anyway, I only have that frame until the day before HAA opens to completely rebuild the website because we're switching our payment system. So I don't like leaving it open all year round, but we will if it ends up being a high requested thing. But I would rather just do the 10 days twice a year because we wouldn't be able to keep up with it if it was open all year anyway. But there are still 270 of you here. Give the video a like. Remember, HAA opens on December 1st, $199 a month for 6 months or $997 up front. If you pay it off by the 4th month, I will cut the last month payment off.
You just have to send them an email.
You just have to send me an email. You can pay it off at any time. If you need to pause it because something happened, that's totally fine too. We're probably some of the
most lenient.
Yeah, most lenient when it comes to our payment plans. We can do whatever you guys need to make your lives easier. We don't want anyone to struggle on our behalfs. Please don't make yourself into a debt you cannot pay back by signing up for our course. Don't sell your car. Believe it or not, someone has offered to do that to buy HAA. We tell it every time, but yeah, people have offered to sell their cars or refinance their house or something like that. And it's like, if you need that much help, you should probably concentrate on life first. Yeah. But we love you guys. I'm so very glad not a single person has complained about the fact that I have had music going this entire time at an extremely low volume in order to fill the space. Let's be quiet for a second. I hope you could hear that.
Do you guys like it?
It's there.
Should we keep doing it?
Can I turn it up just a little bit? See what? Oh, there it goes. It might have been muted this whole time.
Oh, was it not actually playing?
No, it was playing just at an extremely low volume. Now it's playing at a slightly higher volume.
Let us know.
But yeah, I inquired with you guys last time around. I'm leaving it up because I want to see how loud.
I don't want your eggs.
I don't want your eggs.
I don't want your eggs. Keep your eggs.
The music is in fact going now. However, I
can't hear any.
Well, they can definitely hear it now because it's there. But I'm leaving this on just for a couple of seconds because I want to see how loud this is compared to our voices. Yeah, I know can't hear it. But I had headphones on. It's definitely there, so it filled the space. But we love you guys. We will see you next Tuesday for an update video on something.
Tomorrow. You'll see us tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's right.
Ooh, that was probably loud.
That was really loud, made my ears ring. But
the Black Friday Lifeline is tomorrow at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK. You can already go to the homepage of my channel and set your notification. I'll be sending emails to everybody, but we're going to be answering all of your Black Friday last minute questions to help you get ready. We do this every year. It's our additional little live coaching call. We hope that you'll hang out with us, and I'm going to give away a prize. I want to give away a prize. I made this really fun Black Friday hustlin' like shirt design with all these cute little like Black Friday, like a Christmas cookie and a little mocha and all kinds of things. And I haven't been able to get it into the Alpha Adapt shop this year. We just got too busy. But I'm like, hey, let's give one away. So there's going to be a prize tomorrow.
I have figured out what the issue is and why they could not hear the music. I have a noise gate running and that cuts out sounds below a certain level, and the music is way below that level. So I need to split the outputs to voice and music next week without a noise gate on it. Sweet mother of God.
He tried.
Tech happens. We always say tech happens, but we love you guys and we'll see you next week. We're going to sit here and wave for a few seconds after this is over, because last week we realized that
it just abruptly cuts off.